This is my current tier list for this date, and the most recent chapter is as follows. Now, let me explain everything. The peak or S plus tier. Pretty much it goes like this. Edward Wu was able to fight a bunch of Kure, which included Raian, a top tier in the verse, showing absolute domination, and only lost due to overconfidence in the form of being too strong, and of course the poison stab from Wu Xing, which is confirmed by his character profile, stating, "It may not have been clear in the manga, but one of the reasons why Edward lost to Raian was because of the effects of Wu Xing's poison." Iro also states that if he was in his prime, he could beat Edward easily, but that is only Iro's subjective opinion. Until they actually fight, this result is inconclusive. Due to the reason of we don't truly know, Prime Iro, Ohma's Nico, and Gai Mikaku won't be included in today's video, but I'd imagine they're in this tier or maybe one below. Now the next three are on Edward's level or stronger. For example, the Tiger Nico has the same authority within the worm as Eddie. Mutaba thinks they're around the same, or Eddie could be stronger according to this panel. Since we've had a time skip since Eddie's death, Nico I guess should be above him now. Gilbert is Edward personality, memories, all that, but better. Outright confirmed by these panels. And Gilbert is just below the connector Shen Wulong according to this and other implications. And if I'm being honest, the way he's being set up currently, it looks like he should be in a tier higher alone. Next is the S tier. Lolong's character profile says this. Just as Carla says in the story, in terms of true strength and ability, Lolong can be perceived as greater than or equal to Raian, and Raian is approximately equal to Ohma. However, since there's almost no difference in skill level between the three, it is absolutely possible that the ranking can change at any time. Ohma, based on his sparring with Raian over the Ashura and Omega time skip, agrees that Raian is stronger. Ohma, upon defeating Lolong, was thinking about fighting others. This is where Kuroki comes in, as I place him definitely in that level. So, for example, Ohma defeats Lolong, who is regarded as an equal to him. He's like, "Oh, I defeated you because I have other people to fight." As such, I view that as Kuroki, so Kuroki, same tier but still above for now. Kuroki claims upon seeing Kanoh defeat Lutien that he doesn't know whether he can beat him now, so for me, Kanoh goes above Kuroki. Yan is kinda unknown, but respected by the worm members in S plus tier, and can fight alongside Eddie and Faye, and pretty much should be here based on the story, so there you go. Faye had very crazy showings against Waka. Of course, the main reason for him dying and not defeating him is wanting to show off, but the Vine Demon with all this in mind is pretty next level. Howard Wu's profile claims that if he was fighting with Eddie, the end result would have been very different. He's able to fight Gilbert, and has swordsmanship at the peak of humanity, so I'm putting him here. Drota I personally don't really like, but the way Lolong hypes him up needs to be considered, and of course this statement from Kuroki. Sandro literally wrote in his profile, "He was seriously strong, so strong that I struggled with thinking of how to make him lose." Of course his biggest downside is how he limits himself, so he could lose against people much weaker than him, but he's at the bottom of S tier for now. Joji and Koichi are here kinda just based on my personal belief. Joji is the pinnacle of Rokushin karate in the verse. Koichi in a training position for people like Cosmo still, and how much he's respected by other strong fighters, I guess puts him on this level as well. It does seem like Joji and Koichi are on the same level with all that in mind. They also consider someone like ZG pretty much nothing, they can just no-dip him and just troll around. A plus tier is very large and a little more complicated. Let's start with something a little wacky. So Ludong Chen lost against Carlos and Lu Tien via ring out, but defeated Naden. However, some of the physical volumes released of Kengan Omega in Japan dropped these character cards, which shows Naden higher than Carlos and even Misasa, so I'll use that for some ranking within the tier because why not? Lu Tien is a little weird, he kinda fell off by being killed by a Koya. However, considering he had bandages on and was in half removal, I'm just gonna say he got weaker since his fight with Kanoh. This isn't confirmed in the story or anything, but looking at his state, that's just what I'm gonna go with, so he's still worthy of this tier. But he is dead, so I could very well just remove him off the video, it doesn't really matter, who cares. Ray and Sen train together, so I guess they're around the same, I think worthy of this tier. Kiryu I'm just going to place here for now as we don't really know. He most likely will have a future fight against the Tiger Nico, which he will probably get killed in. The Toki was able to fight Dong to a high tier fight. Toa is a little underrated in the broader community. If you consider these panels and reveals about Purgatory, he may be the strongest gladiator outside of Lolong, but the way it seemed like Lolong dealt with him quite easily, and the praise Lolong gives to Jirota, I'm going to leave him here. He did do fairly well before Julius one-shot him, who is just an absolute beast, and if you consider this panel, he may be able to one-shot anyone in the verse with his Got Tota. Waka got a draw with a kinda trolling Fae, but he's still a monster. He could really defeat anyone on this tier and make people in the above tier struggle, but I think he goes here for now. Gaolang is clearly above Carlos based on their fight. This post I put on Twitter explains why he's above Waka for me personally. Make sure to check that out, link in the description. Mutaba is here because he's clearly above the likes of Seki, which brings us to A tier. Rito is very clearly above Sorpang, who's strong enough to defeat Seki and Cosmo. Segabahashi defeated Okubo. Kyozan is kinda underrated and had a high diff fight with Seki. Koge is above Zia and defeated Ryoki. Adam lost to Ryoki. Mokinchi won against a weaker Sorpang. Akoya got clapped by Zia G. Nick is Akoya level pretty much, and Jaime is kinda unknown, mainly due to the circumstances of his fight, so I'll just leave him here for now. Now we have the rest of the tier list. Falcon got low diffed by Sorpang, and the rest are just not really that important. Himuro lost against Haruo pretty high diff. Jose lost against Yumi twice. Canada could technically win against a stronger opponent, really just depends on other factors. And any Yumi fans commenting down below, just go away. Before you make a mistake and comment something down below, we have 3 characters who are pretty much above the idea of a tier list, or pretty much they're so much stronger than everyone on this tier list, there's no point really ranking them, it wouldn't fit on the screen. First we have Medicine Man, who was just a beautiful, thick boy. Enough said. We have Jerry Tyson, who just nukes everyone in the verse whenever he really wanted to. Never forget when he predicted in round 2 that Kuroki was going to win the Kengan Ashura tournament. His foresight since the beginning has always been goated. And then last we have Kazi, who pretty much just slays everyone in fiction. That's everything. And if you want to see the full tier list by itself, go to this timestamp. But that's everything for today's video. Check out the other stuff in the description. Subscribe if you haven't already. That's it guys. Peace.